Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this, the first session of the brand new role-playing show, Kureon. I'm Stuart. I'm your dungeon master for the following proceedings, and of course, as always, I'm joined by an inimitable cast of people. Some old faces, some new to the channel, but of course, we'll get right into this. They'll introduce themselves, and then pretty much we'll dive right in. So, first up, of course, our wondrous host, Miss Susanna Grace.
Hi, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace, at Susanna Grace on Twitter. Tonight I'm playing Gunnhild the Firebraid, a dwarven barbarian. She's out to smash faces, smash beers, and smash the patriarchy.
It's a good list.
Wow. Came up with that just now, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah. Well, I cannot follow that, but I'll have to. Hi, I'm Lydia, a half-arsed hermit on Twitter. Namari Albus. I am a half-elf warlock. I wasn't planning on smashing anything, but that sounds fun, and that's what I'm here for. So, if you don't mind, can you leave me some smashing? Can I do that? Cool.
Hey, I'm Aaron Lomas. You can find me on Twitter at WereGazelle. You can also buy the game I released recently on Steam. It's a Hell in Time. I'm playing the halfling rogue, Tilly Taltout, and at the minute she's just really trying to find a set of people that she hasn't punched anyone in yet.
What up? It's me. It's your boy Stevey at Young Jinxie on Twitter, and I'm going to be playing a human ranger, the token human, called Ronan Farm. The token human, unless you like D&D maths with half elves.
Oh dear.
D&D maths. Multiple people make a noise. Yeah, I'm Jamie. You may remember me from such shows as Halavir and Bike Club. I'll be playing this time a less smashy character. I'll be playing Tristan Inamorati, the half-elven bard. And he won't smash you, but he will rock you like a hurricane. If that makes any difference.
Oh dear.
Wow.
So, after that, without any further ado, let's begin this, our adventurer's tale. A slight wind blows across the heavy tracked road, a cooling breeze against the warm sun above. A comforting summer's day. As you walk along the Glint March roadway leading from Dalneln, the nearest city, towards your destination of Halfgate. Up ahead, you see now a small cluster of buildings, little more than what looks to be a farm. You see what appears to be a barn, a couple of outbuildings. You can see a couple of chickens walking around in a chicken coop. A few small fields, little more than large vegetable patches, and a house, a farmhouse of sorts. And as you get closer to it, you can see along the side of this dirt track road, the owner of this farmhouse appears to have set up a small trading stall. Across the street from the large open window where you can see an elderly gentleman sat behind a counter is a signpost. The Glint March roadway is pointed, going straight on. And to the right, there is a sign which says Halfgate, and underneath, Pale Pyre Muck. As you get closer, you see this elderly man. Is very elderly, but still appears to have a lot of life in. He has sort of tanned Persian-esque skin. His hair is balding on top, to the point where there's no hair left at all on top, no fringe, but he has the sort of merry monk around the sides that is completely grey. He has deep brown eyes, which look worn, but not weary. He just looks like he's had a long, hard life, but he's quite happy with it. He's wearing simple clothing, and you can see behind him in the small room is a multitude of farming tools, of what look to be small satchels of rations and grain. There's a box there of fresh vegetables, a lot of carrots. You see a few lettuces, a cabbage, some corn, general stuff. And surprisingly, there appears to be a rack full of boots, and a very small rack which looks to contain weaponry of average forging. It looks like these were just purchased, so they don't look like they're anything special. And as you get closer, he goes, "Oh, travelers, and wow, rather impressive ones at that. That's quite the display of weaponry you have there. I don't suppose you'd like anything on your journey. I haven't got much to offer you, your sorts, but if you want food or such, where are you going?"
Oh, I was about to say the same actually about your stock. That's quite a lot of items for a farmer. Are you?
Oh, well, you see, this is my stock. It's also my pantry.
Pantry. Right.
Yes, it's my goods. It's for myself and my family and anyone that comes through here, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we're just on our way to Halfgate.
Oh, right, Halfgate. Not doing so well, that place recently. Apparently there's been a lot of more than usual people turning up dead.
Just turning up dead. What?
Yeah, I don't know much. I don't really go that way. The people there are a little smelly for me. It's the swamp. But apparently what I hear from people coming out of there is that it's just abnormal numbers of deaths recently. The profession a lot of them have is rather dangerous in general, but more than usual right now.
What
Just said a lot.
the profession? What do they do?
Well, you see, Pale Pyre Muck gets its name from quite a literal sense. There's something that they gather, a gas, and also a heavy soil that's, when dried out, can burn. And it's used. They make a lot of their money selling it for things like lanterns and for fireplace burnings. Yes. The ground around there is rather volatile in places, and they mine that. And of course, sometimes people get burnt by it.
But these new folk showing up dead, though, like, what's going on with them? Are they in bits? Are they, you know?
I don't know anything about that. It's not the sort of thing people coming out of that place want to give the details, and I haven't really asked. You know, I don't want to know that sort of thing. I've got enough to deal with 7 children and 4 grandchildren.
I think Tilly is like kind of looking over all this stock he's got, like kind of grabs his attention. He's like, what's with all the boots?
That's for travellers to Halfgate. It's nothing like a spare pair of boots when you've been trudging around in the swamp all day. They make quite a profit on people heading to Halfgate for that.
I didn't think we needed to head through the swamp. That's just kind of general to everyone.
Are you travelling there for a specific reason? I assume so because of your garb.
Not specific, just it's been recommended to us as an interesting place.
Oh, I see. Right. Right. You're not the only one to come through here actually heading to Halfgate with a purpose recently, actually. A few days ago, very smart dressed young gentleman came through here. Horse and carriage, would you believe it? Not even a cart, a carriage. Yes. Didn't give me his name. Didn't really stop that much, but his driver seemed nice. Gave me a tip of his hat.
And what was his business in Halfgate? Do you?
I didn't say.
No.
I didn't say. The driver just asked which way Halfgate was. I pointed him down the road. Asked him if he wanted a pair of boots. Said no.
You live an interesting life.
Well, some say that, I suppose. It's my life. I enjoyed quite a lot.
They are friendly towards strangers, are they? As you mentioned, they're a bit standoffish.
It's not standoffish. No, they just smell. It's the swamp. They're just general people, you know.
So
there's good ones. There's some bad ones. The provost there is a lovely man, though.
Provost. Right. Well, I turn around. Do you need boots? I mean,
I don't think I need any boots.
Nah.
I'm fine.
okay.
I can clean mine up quite nicely. It's okay.
I have some other stuff. Rations. I know rations are important. I have rope. Would you like rope? Farming equipment. That's probably not something you want, but if you want, I have trowels and pitchforks and such. Oh, I have a lot of linen sheets as well. My wife, she does a lot of sewing.
Got any axes?
I have one, yes, woodcutter's axe. It's quite sharp though.
Can I have a look at it?
Yeah, and he sort of goes behind you, sees looking through shelves and boxes, and he pulls out this axe. It's probably what you would call a hand axe. It's more like a hatchet, like a log cutting axe. He puts it down, and he's like, "It seemed well made. It's just what appears to be just a heavy hardwood handle, with just a simple axe head on the end, and it looks sharp. Looks like it's been sharpened."
It should be noted for everyone that I have at least 3 visible axes on me right now. I was like, that's nice. Not dwarven though.
Oh no, we don't have any fine crafts like that around here.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. Thanks.
I bought it from a trader coming through here about 3 months back.
To be fair, Gun, I don't think you're really in need of another one.
I always need more axes.
You can only swing 2 at a time, though.
You need to get more hands first before you can get more axes.
You need at least 3 to juggle. But you also need at least 3 to juggle. So.
Can you juggle axes? I mean, with your profession, do you juggle? Are you a juggling type of... No?
I'll let you
Tristan?
borrow them if you want, Tristan.
I mean...
There you go. If you lose a finger, it'll be funny at least.
That would... I'm not against the idea of that being funny. However, I am against the idea of it being my finger. If it was somebody else, perhaps, then it would be entertaining. Maybe I'll start with a more blunt axe if I do decide I require to juggle an axe. And I won't use yours, obviously.
At this point, the old man has slid the axe away from the front of the counter. So, I guess there's nothing I can interest you with then.
I think we'll be okay, but conversation was lovely. Thank you for that.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I always love a good talk, yes. Alright, I best be going. The kids are in the fields, and, well, even though one of them is 34, I still don't feel very happy leaving him out there on his own. He's the sort of person I wouldn't give this axe to, if you know what I mean.
Well, good luck with that.
It's fine. He's fine. He's just clumsy. Not the most dexterous of sorts. Yes. He falls over the turnip harvest every year. Spends half his life with a black eye.
Which one?
Sometimes both.
Ah. Well, at least he matches then.
He laughs. He's got that big smile on his face the entire time he's been talking to you.
Right.
Onwards.
Mm-hmm.
See you later.
Yes. Very well. Have a good time in Halfgate. Yes.
I'm sure we will.
Just have a bath before you leave, please. And you see as he wanders off back into the house now, leaving you alone again.
Well then, who else is ready to trudge through a swamp?
Yay, swamps.
As I'll ever be.
Mm-hmm. Onward.
Yeah?
Can't be worse than cleaning the pub after a Saturday night.
I have to admit, I am slightly jealous of not coming through on a carriage. Perhaps we won't have quite the dramatic entrance anymore. Oh well.
It's good for you though, a good walk.
Oh, I'm not opposed to walking. I've travelled my fair bit. It's just a carriage is, people stop and stare at a carriage.
They just go,
Get
ooh,
people's attention.
la-di-da, and walk off.
I don't think I've ever been in a carriage. Oh yeah,
So-
I have.
As you continue down your trail towards Halfgate, the road that you're walking on now is a lot less travelled. You see now grass is beginning to grow up again in patches of this road. It hasn't been, trodden anywhere near as much. The ruts in it, where you'd see like carts and carriages have driven through, are barely there. It appears, for the most part, that this is a footpath, and anyone going to there is probably going there on foot. But you continue walking now, and you see around you, this is mostly plains. There's every now and again you see a small forest or copse going around, but for the most part it's plains, large boulders dotted everywhere, and off to the right in the distance you can see the towering mountain range known as the Barrel Wash Calderas, getting ever closer to you now, as you know that lies on the northern tip of the Pale Pine Muck. It's about half a day before you begin to approach Halfgate. The sun is going down at this point. It's about probably 6 p.m. at this point, and you're coming up on what looks to be a small crag, where the path goes through the center of this crag, which was once a hill, where the center has fallen away, leaving rocky faces on both sides. There's a number of bushes around here, a few trees, and I would like you all to make a perception check for me.
Sure can.
Perception there.
Hey!
If
that's
luck continues like this, it'll be a good game.
11.
17.
That's a 20 from me, not that.
24.
21.
Dang!
Wow.
Good job, team.
Okay, so that was a 24 from you, Ronan, right?
Yes.
So, Ronan, being used to being out in the wilderness a lot, you have this sort of natural affinity to the usual sounds you hear, and as you're listening to the wind and the pleasant conversation you're having with your companions, you hear something very unnatural, something that you've been trained to possibly be worried about. You hear what sounds to be heavy, animalistic panting, and as you're listening to this, you can hear every now and again, very, very faintly, just the clink of metal on metal.
Very quickly, with a loud voice, everyone slow down. Don't make much noise. There's something off around here. Can you hear it?
What are you talking about?
Listen, there's the sound of something big.
Make a stealth check for me, Ronan.
What's my modifiers?
And as he's saying this now, you can hear what he's talking about.
That is a 21.
21. Okay. So as he's saying this, you guys begin to listen. You begin to hear this faint, like animalistic panting, this sort of hyperactive panting. This sort, it's not a low growl. It's excited panting.
Is it seeming to get any closer, or is it sort of stationary?
Are you guys continuing walking as this is happening?
Well, I assume that
Depends
we
on
would
if
be
we
trying
were
to
shushed
see it.
and stopped.
Yeah, can I identify where it seems to be coming from?
It's coming from above you at the top of this crag.
And we're in the crag right now.
You're in the crag, yeah.
You know where I'm from? If you hear something chasing you, you keep moving.
It's a
Now
good
where I'm
idea.
from, some things like they hunt when other things run. That's how they hunt. Move slowly.
I
Oh, I don't like
Need to
being in the
fight.
middle of this crag. We're kind of funneled.
So
Is this what's happening? Is this-
what's the marching order right now?
I think I might be near the front.
I would have been like second
I
or
feel like
third.
I'd be
I'm
somewhere
not
in the middle.
great at directions, so I would be letting someone else take the lead, but up front so I can punch stuff.
Tilly's probably at the back just because she's slow. 25 feet.
Okay. What about Namari? Where are you?
Probably at the front until Ronan said something, and then
Okay.
sort of gate. Human shields, not human,
Okay.
but
Yeah, I know what you mean. So, Tilly, 7 against your AC.
No.
So as you're talking now and figuring out what to do, you hear a thump and an arrow lands in the ground next to Tilly. You see the shaft is this dark, like sort of very gnarled-looking wood with black feathers on the end, and the tip of the arrow that's still sticking out from the sort of hard ground around here, you can see it has barbs on it.
Oh, jeez. I scamper in front of whoever's in front of me.
Okay. So you run in front of Namari, who's
Ah.
backing up right now. You just run underneath. And as you say that, the panting begins to increase in volume, and then you start hearing a before the sound of skittering paws, and leaping down from the sides of this crag, you see 4 of these large feline-esque creatures, hyenas, come charging down the sides of this towards you, and I would like everyone to roll initiative.
Are hyenas beasts?
Hyenas are beasts, yes.
I still don't know what that means. I know that I have a favorite enemy that's a beast.
It just means you know stuff about them.
Boys, hyenas.
Also, Stu, did you say that they were like feline? Aren't hyenas more canine?
I don't know.
They are like cat
Always
dogs.
been-
though. They
Did
are.
them more like dogs?
Yeah.
Are they? Well, there we go. Canine then. The
Oh,
hyenas.
interesting.
The neither. The hyenas.
Yeah,
Right.
hyenas. They
These are
just-
weird hyenas, alright? Weird hyenas.
hyenas that can shoot arrows. Was it more of an arrow or a bolt?
It was an arrow. Alright, 25 to 20. That's good. 15 to 20.
18.
18. Hey.
And what about you, Ren?
15.
15. Okay. Which of you two has the higher dex mod?
I have Dex +2, 14.
Plus 3.
Alright, so Gunnhild is up first. Followed by Namari. And then Ronan. And then 10 to 15.
Jamie, what did you do?
Okay.
I did nothing. The dice did it.
Okay. 5 to 10.
7.
8.
Oh my word. The dex-based character
The
has
dice did this to me.
an 8.
I rolled a 4.
Same.
Good job, guys. Good job. Alright, so top of the round, Gunnhild, you see these hyenas come skittering down the sides of the rock, just completely, seemingly crazed, and this rather steep, sort of 20-foot high cliff just seems to be no real opposition to them as they skitter down it. One of them tumbles slightly, but still keeps going, rights himself. And as this is happening, you see these 2 sort of upright hyenas that are holding bows in their hands step to the edge of the crag, and you see they've got this huge smile on their face. They're slavering at the mouth. Their eyes are wildly darting around everywhere, looking between you all with the sorts of eyes that don't say, who are these people? These are the sorts of eyes that say, which one is my first snack?
Okay.
And you're up
So
first.
these hyenas are down on the floor next to us now.
Yeah, they're on the floor. They've just hit the bottom of the crag. But you guys, in seeing this, reacting to the arrow that was fired at you, you've managed to gain the speed, upper hand here.
First of all, I'm going to rage.
So, everyone sees now as Gunnhild just reaching back for the axe on her back. You see her veins on her forehead begin popping out, and she starts just grunting and you see now she's just breathing becomes incredibly heavy. You see she's moving in time with the crazed look on these hyenas. The breathing becomes the same, and at this point she just lets out a scream.
Yep. And then I'm gonna. Oh, I can't move my token.
Can't you?
Nope.
Let me fix that for you. Represents character. It represents you. You should be able to.
Nope.
Have you?
I'm on the select tool.
We need control of the thing it represents.
Oh, right. There we go. You are on the right layer, yes.
Hey, there I go. I'm gonna just step forward very angrily, and then I'm gonna swing at this guy really angrily.
Yeah.
With my big ass axe. I'm gonna roll my rage dice.
Rage dice?
Yep. And that is a 13 to hit.
That will hit, yeah.
Hey! And so that's a d12. So that's a 12. I rolled plus 4, 16, then plus 2 for my rage, so 16.
16 points of damage.
Yeah.
So, as you charge at this hyena, axe in the air, yelling the entire time, you leap your little dwarven legs into the air and slam it down into the head of this creature, and with such force that the cutting blade doesn't have time to cut, and you just crash this hyena's head into the ground where it splats into this pulp. And you pull your axe back up, you're already looking around feverishly for your next target. So, that hyena is very dead. And next up is Namari. So you've just seen Gunnhild just fly off the handle and charge at one of these creatures.
Okay. I back up a little and here, just away, and I will then Eldritch Blast that guy up there.
Okay.
That's
Make your attack
18
roll.
plus.
It hits.
Yeah.
It hits.
Rolled 18. Oh, and that's a 10. Hello.
All right. Okay. So that's a 10. Oh, you don't add anything to it yet. So
Not yet.
as you step backwards, you reach up with your hand and the ring on it, pushing forward. This slight glint of energy ripples from the ring into the tip of your finger, and as it lances out, this sort of sickly purplish green tinged beam just slams into the side of this creature, just knocking it off the side into the side of the crag. And you, as it hits, you hear this horrible crunch as the beam pierces into the creature and breaks most of its internal organs.
That's cool. Weird.
Would you like to do anything else with your turn?
No, can't really.
All right, that will bring us to Ronan. So you see 2 of these hyenas have already been picked off so far.
Yeah, I will take a step here so that I'm intercepting between our bard friend, but I will use my longbow and attempt to attack one of the upright bow-wielding hyenas
yeah.
above.
Mm-hmm.
And I will aim for the one to the south, the pink green.
Of course, yeah.
And that is a 17 plus 6, 23 to hit.
20 feet, that does hit, yep.
And that's a 8. Counting my fingers.
Is
12 damage.
Everyone's just rolling max damage on their dice this round. So as you step in front of Tristan, sort of ushering him to the side with your hand, you grab an arrow from your quiver and just fire it into this creature, and you see as it turns to you, it smiles as this arrow digs into its shoulder, and it's still standing now, but it really is lurched back from the impact of the arrow. And as you watch, it pulls it out, and you can see there's a bit of flesh that is stuck to the barbs on your arrow. It just reaches up and eats it, chucks the arrow to the side. Just the entire tip of the arrow just pulls in his mouth like it's like a kebab. He chucks it to the side. And he then reaches into his own quiver as this creature, pulling out a very hooked-looking, horrible arrow, pulls it back and fires straight back at you, Ronan. And that is going to be a 9 to hit.
That is a miss.
So as it fires, it goes into the ground next to you, scattering off a pebble, and you see the arrow just shatters and breaks. And it's just like you hear him going, he pulls out another arrow instantly and fires a second one shot towards you. And this one is an 11 to hit.
That's a miss.
Changing dice. It's the one you bought me, Susie.
Thanks, Susie.
And the one on the other side, seeing Gunnhild just obliterate one of its pets, knocks an arrow and fires it straight at you, Gunnhild. And that's going to be a 10 to hit.
Fuck no.
And as that one misses, scatters off into the distance, it fires another shot at you. And that one's going to be a 15 to hit.
Yeah, no. 16 is my AC.
Oh. Go. And as that one now comes towards you, you look to it, and as it bounces off one of the many ornamented dwarven parts of your outfit, just breaks apart, and you see the tip of it just scatters off somewhere into the ground. And both of these creatures now, they sort of just and jump down towards you from the top of this crag, and begin sort of circling around, cutting off your path to the front. And that will bring us to Tilly.
I think seeing Ronan step over towards one of the other hyenas, but then draw his bow and shoot at one of the guys who was up top. I think I'm going to draw one of my daggers and move over to that hyena.
Okay.
And I'm going to attempt to hit it with this dagger.
You can do that.
Yeah. That is going to be a 13.
Against a hyena.
Yes.
That does hit.
Surprise, surprise. That's max damage as well, so that's 8 damage. Piercing.
8 damage. All right.
Yeah.
So as you lunge in with this dagger, you drive it straight forward, and you're about the same height as the mouth of these creatures, so you just lunge to the side of this creature's head, trying to keep your face away from the snapping teeth of this crazed beast. And as you stab into the side of this creature, about in the neck, you see this gout of red blood, and the creature's eyes just look upwards and just go limp as it falls to the side. Pull your blade out, almost being dragged down with it, because you're not that heavy.
Nice.
And that was I just deleted you. Whoops.
Oh, please don't do that.
And that's another max damage hit. Yeah.
Until he was no more.
DM used remove from existence.
Yeah, that's
Super
a
effective.
10th level spell. Anyway. Would you like to do anything else with your turn? You do have your bonus action attack now because you did attack.
Yeah, but it's as part of an attack action, isn't it? So I can't do anything else?
You
I
can-
guess if I pull another dagger out, I can throw a dagger. Yeah. So I will pull my second dagger out. I'm going to keep this one hidden in one of my boots and
Yep.
throw it at the top, like the northernmost one.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
That is a 14 to hit.
Yeah, and as you fling this dagger out, just with practiced dexterity, you fling this dagger out and it strikes into the side of this creature. Go roll damage.
This isn't technically an offhand attack, right? So I don't get the attribute?
Yes, you don't get the extra. Yeah.
Okay. That's 4 damage again.
All right, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
These are
Good.
good dice.
So, speak for yourself. As the dagger sinks into this creature now, you see it's looking sort of around at this point now. A lot of its pets have died, and it's pretty wounded. But the other tall hyena-like creature is just eyes on. He's not had anything hurt him yet, so he's just ready to go. And that will bring us to Tristan, bringing up the rear.
Okay.
Means you're
So the one that hasn't been hurt at all.
The-
I'd like to.
the upright one, the tall one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to call out to it and mock it viciously.
Okay.
And say, Oi, you, run to the litter. Your mum's a bitch.
Jesus.
What's your spell
Dog.
save DC? Yes, I get it, Jimmy. What's your
Oh,
spell
yeah.
save DC?
It is 15.
That's a 7, so
It takes a whopping 1 point of psychic damage.
okay.
However, it's got disadvantage.
As you yell at it, this creature just sort of goes. Oh, oh.
Oh.
Doesn't seem like it understands you, but it understands the intent of your words.
Good. And with my bonus action, I would like to inspire Gunnhild. I'll just turn to you and just go, gun, smash.
All right. You get a D6 inspiration.
Yeah,
dice?
D6. That's fine.
D6.
Yeah.
All right. So top of the round, Gunnhild, it's your go.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm gonna go, she's just gonna go, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and then she's gonna run for the hyena dude.
The hyena or the hyena dude?
The hyena dude.
Right, okay.
She's gonna run right up into his face, and she's gonna just, like, go in, like, she's going in for a headbutt, but then, with the momentum, she's just gonna bring her axe down on top of his head.
Yeah,
Or as close as she can get, because she is only 4'10".
it's okay. They're only about 5'4".
That is a 17 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay, so that's 1d. 8 slashing.
Okay. So as you bring this blade down, it strikes into the shoulder pad of this creature and just jams the shoulder pad down into its torso, and it bucks to the side, still reeling from the fact that it's just being called awful names by someone. And as it bucks down, it drops its longbow as it does it, and just looks up to you now, and you see up close the true, just crazed hunger in its eyes.
I match it. I'm just straight back at it.
Okay.
I'm not scared.
And that will bring us to Namari.
I will like that. There's behind you, and then blast the other hyena that Tilly the gun just ignored.
Yes.
Oh. So rolled 17 plus.
That
6.
yeah, that hits. That hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 damage.
That's just what you needed.
Oh. Nice.
So, once again, as this streaking blast echoes out from your finger, it crashes into the creature once again, and this creature is turned to face Gunnhild, just on pure animalistic instinct, and you hit it in the hind leg, and you just flip it end over end, and it just barrels until it hits a rock and just stops with that horrible sound of just pure magical force slamming into it. Even though it's a very thin beam, the sort of punch of it is quite strong. That is your first round. And that will bring us to Ronan.
I will make a longbow attack against the knoll that is up against Gunnhild, and that's a 19 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. 11 damage.
11 damage. All right. So, as you see Gunnhild strike down into this creature with a hefty blow, you turn and seeing the exposed weak point come up, you slam into the side, and this creature just bucks to the side now, just being attacked from so many angles and not really having the intelligence to understand it. It's just bewildered right now. It's reeling completely, and it looks very, very wounded at this point. Like a slight breeze would, call it quits. Which brings it to its turn, and now, as seeing they're surrounded like this, they do the only thing that they know how, and that's charge right at you. So, as this one leaps towards you, Tilly, you see it just throws the bow to the side, pulling out from its back a hefty-looking spear with an equally barbed tip, just like the arrows. It just lunges at you, gnashing its teeth at you as it does. So it's going to make a bite attack and a spear attack against you. And that is going to be, on the bite, is going to be a 16 to hit.
That's gonna hit you.
And on the spear, that's a 6.
That's not.
So it's going to lunge at you with the bite, and that does no damage. But I roll max damage, so that's 6 points of piercing damage. It just
Wow.
bites down on your shoulder. These hefty jaws, about the size of a quarter of your torso, just sink in.
It just bent down 2 foot to bite me.
Yeah, well, it's leaping at you. and you can feel the warm blood pooling underneath. Well, as it's doing that, the fact that it's having to go so low to get you just means the spear goes wild, claps off. And as it's happening, the other one now up against Gunnhild just plunges it.
Stu, your audio is going really fucky.
That's a technical term.
You're dipping a lot.
Yeah, it's probably my.
Skype.
Yeah, I love how like to fix the levels, he moved the pop filter.
That's also have it. All right. The spear was a natural 20 against you.
Oh, there, that'll hit.
Damn.
Yeah.
And the body is 19.
Yeah, that'll hit as well.
So the spear. Oh, it's a D8.
Wait, that one has disadvantage.
Yes, that's true.
Thank you, Jamie.
It's a 15 for the spear instead.
Nope.
All right, so the spear doesn't hit you, but the bite does. So you take 4 points of damage, reduced to 2.
2.
Because you're raging.
Nice.
All right, and that brings us to Tilly's go.
I'm gonna stick my remaining dagger in this thing's throat while it's trying to bite me.
Yes.
Because that sucks being done. That's a 12.
That misses, unfortunately.
Okay. Can I, because I have tavern brawler, can I 2-weapon fight with my fist?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I'm gonna punch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 5.
So you go to jab this dagger in, and it bounces off the leather armor. So you instinctively just reach up with your fist, forgetting this thing is quite a lot taller than you, and just.
I tried.
All right, and that brings us to Tristan.
Seeing that.
Leave mine.
Yeah, that was the plan. Just in case of what I want to do to the other one now. Yeah, seeing that Tilly's in a bit of a precarious position, I'll probably I'll actually move up. Cocky. Yeah, I'll actually move up and take a swipe with my short sword, and then inspire Tilly after.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 14 to hit with the short sword.
That does hit. Yep.
Sweet. So that's a d6. That's 5 on the dice. So 8 points of damage.
Okay, so as you run up now, seeing Tilly just miss this, you lunge with your short sword in sort of a very poetic motion towards it, like you're in a theatre play, and just into this creature. And as you pull it out, you're very surprised to see this creature just crumple in front of you.
Can I use that as my inspiration? Just like, did the thing.
Are you inspired by this, Tilly?
No, it just bit me.
Damn it. How would I inspire you? I don't know. I'd probably say something really cool in the moment that just was totally overshadowed by the fact that I'm grinning like maniacally at the fact that I just took it down.
Yeah, I'm inspired to get away from this psychopath.
All right. You take your d6. Take your d6. Okay, that brings us to the top of the round again, which is, of course, Gunnhild.
Okay. Being mightily pissed off that I've just been hit, I am going to jump off the ground, launch myself at this thing, and attempt, because you said it was like really super looking rough, right?
Yeah, it's like barely holding on. It's got an arrow piercing into its lung on one side.
I'm in that much of a state of rage, I forget I have an axe and I just launch at it with my teeth. I just want to rip its throat out with my teeth.
You can do that.
I'm very angry.
Make an attack roll.
What do I add to this?
Your strength modifier.
Oh, that's a lot. That's 18 plus.
Yeah,
Plus 4. Yeah.
Yep.
What's the damage I roll for this?
It's an unarmed attack, so 1 plus your strength plus your rage.
So 7.
7 points of damage on an unarmed attack. So as you lunge, as you leap at this creature now, you grab onto its neck and you just and you taste this horrible, like matted fur, and you just rip this creature's throat out. Just spurt of blood all over your face, covers the top of your torso in crimson, and you've just got this chunk of fur and flesh in your mouth now, as the creature just sort of looks down to you, being like, "That's my line," and forces aside.
I look at that, and like look at Tristan, as that bite doesn't seem so bad now.
Yeah.
I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please, Gunnhild.
Okay.
Not you, Tilly. Gunnhild.
I'm not going to use my rage dice because I'm not mad. That's 16 plus 5, 21.
Okay, so this tastes absolutely awful.
Oh, yeah, I got.
Absolutely. Even through your rage, you're like, where has this creature been?
Yeah, I'm like.
Like, you're not really tasty, when you get like a bit of fur from like a fur coat in your mouth. It's not like that.
Oh.
It's like, it's not. It's like you just bit down on soil and manure with a bit of fur in it, and you're pretty sure there's some blood in here. It's like biting down on a penny that you just found in a pile of dog dirt.
A furry penny.
Yeah.
That's pretty grim.
I'll drop my rage and I'll go for my water skin, which I've refilled with ale instead of water, and just and then just guzzle beer.
I walk closer, looking at Gun. I go, that cleaning thing you said you can do.
Oh.
Didn't
Yeah.
you mention something?
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a sec, just to calm down first.
Yeah, maybe
I'm
not.
good.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Use prestidigitation to like clean her up a bit.
No.
Just
No.
foot by foot clean the blood off.
There's some
Stand
fur in
away.
her hair. Still there at the back.
Yeah, basically, with me and Namari, just like you point something out, and I just like.
Yeah, like pretty much chest up, the front of her was just red, but only at the front. She turned sideways. There's like a clear line where there wasn't red anymore.
Do you know when people get hosed down in decontamination showers? It's like that, but magic.
Yeah, it's just Tristan there like,
One
oh boy.
at a time. Yeah.
Him just with two half elves standing over you, pointing at random places. Like, oh, not there, missed a spot. No.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that's.
Tilly makes sure to go pull like her dagger back out of the knoll that she threw. Like give it a good kick.
Yeah, as you pull it out, as you get closer, you can smell these things. It's like, it's not a prevailing stench that you can smell from far away, but when you get close to these creatures and you can see them now, not in the fury of battle, their fur is matted all over. It's stuck down with soil, and there's it's got dried, God knows what, all over it. There's not an inch of any of their fur which looks like fur. It looks like they've been bathed in mud.
Really wish I'd seen that before I bit one.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh well, it's an
that
experience.
is an image I will never get out of my head again.
It was fun. What? I'm gonna just start rifling through. Have they got like any pockets or anything on them?
They've got all sorts of pockets. They've both got like satchels on their back as well. Not like a satchel, it's like a sack, but it's tied with a strap around this big sack on their back. And as you open the sack, there's a person in there.
A person.
I mean, it was a person at some point.
Oh.
It's now more like chunks of a person. Yeah, and you can see part of it looks like it's been eaten.
Hey, these guys having an interesting diet.
Yeah. Says
That's one
the
word for it.
person who bit them.
I didn't eat it.
That is somehow
They
better.
nearly ate me.
That technically is somehow better.
Oh God, Tilly, are you okay? That looks
Tilly
nasty.
just has
I
these
point
two,
to my
like-
massively bleeding shoulder.
That's what I was referring.
Yeah,
Therein lies the problem.
Punch marks in the leather. Also going through, you find that both of these creatures have a very crudely fashioned necklace on, made out of the similar wood to what the arrows were made out of, and it looks to be fashioned like a mouth, but there's teeth all the way around.
I'll take it though, just in case.
Yeah, there's no lips. There's just teeth all the way around. The teeth look to be actually teeth.
Like human teeth or like
Oh, very pronounced, like canine.
pointy teeth?
Pointy.
So does anyone know what these things are? I look at the Huntsmaster.
Would I know what these are?
You'd know what the hyenas are, definitely.
Yeah.
But just make a general intelligence roll for me.
Ooh, what does that score like for me? Hey, that's a 5 total.
You don't know what these are.
Yeah, I was
You
like,
know
yeah,
You know what the
they're
hyenas
hyenas and other things. Speaking of which, the gnarly arrows the other things had. Can any of you
Yes.
guys find any for me?
Is
Are there
any
any
on mine?
in there?
are. Both of them have got quivers, and there's about 10 between the two of them, arrows that they have left. From the looks of what you found in the bags, it looks like you were the sort of the last on their to-do list for today.
That's fine. I'll still stock them.
Okay, so these they're just arrows, but they're very vicious-looking arrows. This is the sort of thing that would make something die slowly.
Nice.
Oh.
Well,
How far away are we from that farmhouse shop place?
You're almost half a day's travel from it,
Okay.
so
and how far was it to Halfgate?
about not that far beyond half a day's travel.
So we're nearly at Halfgate.
Yeah.
I wonder if they know about these. If this is a problem, or we've just been very unlucky.
Do you think it's possible that these are the people that are showing up dead, are being attacked by gnolls or by hyenas and whatever these are?
Mage Hand lifts some of the dead things. I'm not entirely sure they leave them behind.
I was gonna say, the
One
way
of
the
both.
old man said it was they show up dead. I
Well-
doubt these let anyone
Like-
show up.
These ones have showed up,
Whole.
and they're very dead.
Yeah, but in a bag as a snack.
These guys also have these necklaces. They're probably from a clan or a cult or something.
A necklace. Can I take a look and
Oh, they've just got super shitty tasting jewelry.
I mean, look at them. Would you be surprised?
They
Yeah.
do have other like jewelry on them as well. Like one of them has got a coin, like a copper piece, as an earring punched through the middle with like a nail, and they just nailed it to their ear. And like pieces of string stuck to their ears and things like that.
Edgy.
Does
They don't
that
seem to
render?
have good taste.
I take it back.
Sorry.
That's some
I was gonna say they don't seem to have good taste in anything.
Does the earring render the copper useless because every copper counts?
It does. It's punched. It's quite a large, like punch. If you were to use it, it would look more like a spacer than a copper coin.
But no gold on them. Nothing valuable.
Nothing valuable beyond that. I mean, they both have spears. One of them has a dagger. But yeah, this dagger it's more ridges than it is blade.
Mm.
This is the sort of thing for cutting things up. Like a bone saw.
What time of the day is it, if I may ask?
It's early evening. The sun is just beginning to go down. So
Should we make sure we're there before any more of these things come out?
I'll just chuck the bodies off the path though. Because I'm a responsible adventurer. I don't leave my rubbish on the roads.
you just hurl them off into the bushes to the side.
I'll nick that bone saw dagger if no one else is reaching for it. I'll nick that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
I'll take the other necklace,
Okay.
if that's okay. Yeah.
I'll
Alright.
adjust my fancy hat.
Oh god, you have a hat.
Of course I have a
Of
hat.
course.
I'm a
It's a
bard.
bard.
So, as you gather what little you can from these corpses, you set forth onwards. One of you looking a little worse for wear than the others, towards carrying on down this track. And it's about another hour of travel. It's not long past the crag before you see in the distance you see an expanse of trees and in the front what looks to be a settlement, and you can figure that's probably Halfgate. And by the time you get there, the sun is turning the sky red above you. It's actually setting behind Halfgate. You've been traveling west this time, and as you come upon the pale stone walls of Halfgate, there's stark contrast to the darkened swamp behind it. You can see the trees behind are not the sort of trees you've been seeing. They're not pines or oaks. These are twisting, gnarled trees with flat canopies on top that seem to dig their roots hard into the ground and arch up, trying to get any water that they can. But the pale stone wall seems a separator, at least in this part, from it. And in front of it, there is this huge, heavy gate in the walls of this large town. And the other thing that you can see from this distance is off to the right, in the shadow of the mountains that have now got a lot closer to you, is a small mound, atop which is a henge. And the central monolith, even from this distance and in the fading light, you can see there is chiseled into it the image of a sun, which has been painted white. And as you get closer now, you see a small wooden guardhouse from which two figures shuffle from. They've got heavy like pole arms by their sides, and one of them has from their cap has a red feather coming out the top. And they're both sort of walking slowly towards you now, both holding their pikes. Their pole arms. They don't look as if they're going to attack you, but they look guarded, ready.
I wave really nicely and friendly from the distance.
One of them just sort of goes,
We suddenly look like fucking serial killers. Just, hi! Don't mind us, we're just tooled up and... Yeah.
And as you get closer now, you realize that these are two girls, younger than you all, maybe no older than 17. Both of them are wearing scale mail armor with the helmets on. It looks well-fitting. The clothing underneath looks a little baggy, but the armor looks well-fitted. And as you get closer, you can see they're trying to look as stern as they can. But they're holding the weapons rather practically. They don't look like this is something new to them. And they go, state your business here.
Oh, good evening. Hi. Is this Halfgate?
Yes, this is the town of Halfgate.
Oh God, we're so grateful. We've been traveling all day. We just need food and maybe a nice warm bed for the night. Is there any chance?
It's a strange way to come out of your way for food and warm bed. State your business.
We're travelers.
This is not the sort of place people travel to. Are you working here?
Maybe if work needs doing.
Explain your weaponry.
I mean, I don't have weaponry.
She's pointing with the halberd to all of you.
I think Tilly kind of steps to the front a little bit as listen, punk, we need these because we got attacked on the road, and kind of points at her shoulder, which is probably not bleeding at this point.
It's not bleeding, but there's still the puncture wounds in it. She's...
Protection.
What's your business here? I won't ask again, or you'll be sleeping in the cold tonight.
You've got a problem
Listen.
with people dying, right?
Let's all calm down.
Right?
Let's all calm down.
Right? I know.
We were.
I'm cool.
We were.
How do you
We
know
are
about
just
that?
planning on traveling through, and this was recommended to us for maybe, finding a bit of work on the side, maybe starting our journey here.
Traveling through?
Yeah.
This is the end of the road. There's nothing beyond this.
Well, then we'll make a new road.
I don't trust you.
I'll step between.
Make a persuasion check.
I want
Make a
to.
persuasion check. No,
Yeah, that was going to be 3.
Actually, make that a deception check, because you're not technically telling the truth.
No, I don't know what the truth is. Does not matter. It's 9 either way.
I don't believe you. State your real business here. Don't mollycoddle us. We've got enough going on without troublemakers.
I'll say
don't
to
we know
them,
it?
Does the name Maximilian Walderheim mean anything to this town? As our true business is at the behest of
Yes.
a patron of that name, and we were told to come here.
He's a guest of the provost. You the ones he's talking about?
It would seem so.
So you're here to find his little trinket for him, are you?
The details we're not sure of, but we were the ones that were contacted, hence the weaponry, because we're able-bodied and ready to go.
All right. Just no trouble from you, all right? And don't go out into that swamp. We've already lost enough good people to it.
What's going on with the swamp?
Well, people turning up dead. Not just dead, but pieces. Not like...
Hey.
I'm not talking like pieces like bits. I'm talking about literally just pieces of them. A skeleton. Bones broken. Marrow gone. No meat on them. Not even bleached. Licked off.
Yeah.
I think I know what your problem is.
Yeah, I think we know what's doing that.
Yeah, aren't
We've
you
already
lucky
bumped
we came
into
along?
some this morning on his way
I wish
here.
you'd come along about 2 weeks ago when my dad was still alive.
Ah, sorry to hear that, kiddo.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
We'll let you in then. But no funny business. We know how you lot are bounty hunters, you know? Gifu, open the gate for them. And you see the other one who's been silent this entire time, the one without the feather in her helmet, just sort of nods, wanders over and just puts the pole arm to the side and slides slightly, just puts it back, and just pushes open the gate, which has been unbarred this entire time. And as she opens it, there's another guard on the other side. This one, male, but older, maybe about the same age as you guys, around mid-20s. And you see he just goes, talks with Gifu for a moment. He goes, right. And the guard that's still with you goes, right this way. We'll show you in. And as you're shown in now, as you walk past, you see another 2 guards pop their heads out from the parapet above you, from above the gate, where they'd been hiding to see what was going on. And they're about the same age as well. They're in their mid-20s. It seems that it's just these 2 girls that you've met so far that are the younger ones. And as you go through now, you are led into what seems to be a fairly well-kept town. Surprisingly, considering the dark swamp on the other side. The buildings are clean. They're painted white. With the door on them is painted white. The floors, the roads of this are actually cobbled and kept clean. And you see over to the left is a small, modest, but still grand in comparison to everything else, manor house. And there are a number of people at this hour bustling, most of them heading in the direction of what looks to be a couple of taverns.
Couple of taverns.
Yeah.
Very
wow.
good. So where's this guy's digs then? Where are we headed? Are we just crashing for the night, then seeing him in the morning, or what?
You hear the guard that talked to you now has sort of closed the gate behind you, and is in there with you. And she turns and goes, if you're looking for Maximilian, it's at the Golden Fox. Let's have a look at that for the gaudy carriage out front.
Oh, that were him, right. You
Well,
don't
that
like him
shouldn't be too
then?
hard
You
to
were a
find.
bit, something.
Oh.
I'm getting a vibe.
Sorry, it's been a hard few months. You learn to be distrustful of people, especially when you don't know what's going on with them.
I haven't eaten anything.
Makes 27 in the past 2 weeks.
27.
Since all this began, I think we're over 200 now.
Have you seen this before? And I pull out the necklace.
I haven't seen that before in my life. We don't know what's causing this. There's been nothing directly attacking the village, or the town, sorry. Don't know. Maybe the Sunkeeper will know something about that.
I'll ask. Thanks, though.
No problem. His house is over in the northern part of the town.
Who was that again? Sorry.
Sunkeeper.
Sunkeeper.
Yeah. Priest Pelor.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
So is he your
Yeah.
main guy here then, yeah?
I mean, I'm not the religious sort myself, but seems to be the most favourable sort around here.
Oh.
Carrick's a nice man, though. Every second Sunday, he puts on like a dinner for everyone that's been affected by the tragedy going on. It's nice. Helps us stick together.
Seems like a good plan. Alright, well. Gosh, shit, I'm really short. Fuck! I was just gonna, like, pat her on the shoulder, but I'm tiny. Fuck.
I'm gonna say she's not that tall, but she's taller than you.
Yeah. I can't do, like, a condescending shoulder pat. Shit. Why not an elf? I'm really upset now. I'll just be like,
So a bit-
thanks.
She hefts the polearm over to the other shoulder and puts her hand out and goes, sorry for the wary introduction. Name's Alan. Captain of the guard here. Alan.
Alan. Oh, sorry.
Captain of the guard here.
I'm Gun.
She shakes your hand, and it's just a fairly average handshake. I mean what I said though, do keep out of trouble.
What?
Maybe young. I'm the best fighter this town's got.
Oh, I believe you. I kind of, like, flex a little bit as I let go. Alright, catch you around, Alan.
I hope not. Means you're in trouble.
Alright, I will join the rest of the group then, unless you already stood there while I was talking to this girl.
I assume we were.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
There was, yeah.
Everyone's just been watching you talk to someone. It's D&D, man. That happens a
Yeah,
lot.
I know, I get it.
So, what's the plan? Are we looking for this carriage?
Pub, 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 pub,
Mm.
pub, pub.
I mean,
I think that's 5 yeses
said-
from Gun.
I think she said he was in the Gaudy Fox, I think. That sounds like a tavern to me.
Golden.
Golden Fox.
Fox.
I heard
Looking out for a
Gaudy,
gaudy
so-
carriage.
That was it.
It's alright. I forgive you, David.
Thank you. I feel forgiven. Well, but the way it sounds so.
What
Two
was
birds,
that?
one
Sorry?
stone.
You,
It
you
sounds like a
robot.
tavern name. No,
You
it
roll
sounds
like
like a
that.
tavern name to me.
Mm-hmm.
So two birds, one stone. Meet this Maximilian guy and relax after a hard day's fighting hyenas. Anyway,
Okay,
seems
so
like a good plan to me.
as you head into town now, you see it leads into a sort of a central a square, like most towns have a market square. And here you see there is one tavern by the name of the Stone Prophet here. This appears to be more of an ale house than an inn. But as you look around, you don't see the carriage you were told about. But asking one of the people milling around, you're pointed down a side road, and they say they're sort of over there and just go off. They don't seem to be paying you much mind. They're probably racing to get home.
Okay,
I
well, guess
assume we head over there.
Yeah. So as you make your way down there, you see that now that there is what looks to be a 3-story building. It's quite large. The bottom floor is much larger than the other 2 floors, and down the alley to the side of it, you can see a carriage. To you, most of you having been through a city at some point in your life, it doesn't look that gaudy. It looks fairly plain. It has curtains. It's not open topped, but it's not like gilded or anything. It's just a carriage.
Right.
It's wood. It's not painted, but it's all right.
Alright.
Okay, I
the spot,
guess
yeah.
we go in.
Yeah. All right. And as you go in, we're going to take a quick break there.
Hey.
So we'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes. Everyone go get a drink. We'll be back soon. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for bearing with us on that break. So, as you enter the tavern, this one is nowhere near as crowded as the one that you saw in the main square, the Stone Prophet. Inside is rather homely. The walls are adorned with various different paintings of what looks to be family and loved patrons. The bar is stocked full of what looks to be 4 different casks of ale, as well as a variety of dusty-looking bottles. There's a few patrons in here. There's looks to be a small family, 2 kids currently running around the outside of the table. The parents trying to catch them so that they can actually eat their dinner, which is currently on the table. And what looks to be 2 farmhands at the end of the day, sharing a loaf of bread between each other, smiling and having idle conversation. And then at the back, there is a very shady-looking person. They have a long coat on and a hat tilted forward. The chair is leaned back against the wall, and they currently look like they are asleep. And there is a bottle in front of them and a small glass next to it. Behind the bar, there are 2 people. There's a very tall-looking lady and a very short-looking man next to her. And the lady's wearing an apron. She's currently shining a glass and talking to the man. And the man's like, and then he darts off into the room behind the bar. And the lady turns around now, seeing you come in, and goes, "Ah, good evening to you."
Evening.
Evening.
Hi. I suppose I should say welcome to the Golden Fox. I'd be the Golden Fox. My name's Joyce.
Hi, Joyce. Good establishment.
Thank you. What can I do for you? It's not often we get people coming here instead of the Stone Prophet. At least not for drinking purposes.
Well, we are looking for someone.
And she puts down the glass and leans on the bar. She's like, Maximilian?
Yeah, the same.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot of our types coming in, I assume?
No.
No?
Just Maximilian said he'd be waiting for people that looked like you. You know, lots of weaponry, stone faces. He said a little bit odd, but I was going to leave that bit out. But I thought I might as well
No,
say
that's
it.
perfectly fine.
I mean, I feel like the odd
that's-
applies
yeah,
more to me
yeah.
than stone, so that's fair.
Anyway, he said to call him as soon as you arrived. He sort of stands up straight again. Hey, everybody else, out. We have a private meeting in here now. They paid for it, so I'm afraid you're going to have to leave. You come back in half an hour. I'll give you all a free drink for it. And you see the family and the 2 farmhands go to protest, and Joyce just goes, and they go, and one of the farmers goes, "Hey, can we take our bread with us?" They go, "Of course." And one of them picks up the bread and grabs the hand of the other one, and they lead each other out.
It's a strange policy for a pub.
It's not our usual policy, but Maximilian gave us a hefty sum of gold to make sure that there was no one in here. You notice the person that's asleep at the back has not left. Has not even stirred at all. Yes. And you see Joyce now go straightens up again, just breathes in deeply and goes, "Jeffrey!" And instantly the small man just darts back into it like a shot of lightning and just stands. Yes, my love. What's wrong? And Joyce just says, "Oh, nothing, my dear. The people to see Maximilian are here." And he just goes, Oh. Shall I go fetch him? And just nods and smiles. Goes, "All right. But you're cleaning up the dishes tonight." Just goes, Fine. And Jeffrey runs upstairs. And after a moment, you hear a, "Oh, splendid. Wondrous. Absolutely fabulous. I'll be right down with them. Maximus, would you please bring the finest wine down, and of course the tablecloth. Like, the place stuff here is dreadfully unclean. City life is a lot nicer than this. But, yes, bring the quill. No, you don't need to bring the crossbow, I don't think. No, not the poison dagger. And you just hear after that a very practiced walk begin making its way downstairs, and they're arriving at the top of the stairs that you can see walking down now is a very collected figure. He has one hand in his blazer, under which is a waistcoat. He's wearing a very deep purple suit that looks like it's made from velvet, and has a white shirt underneath with a cravat. His hair is trimmed. His goatee is very smart and straight, a long wispy mustache above it. He has thin eyeglasses on, and as he makes his way down towards you, he's like, "Oh, wondrous to see you all. I presume you will be the people that answered my request I put out in a few cities. I'm Sir Maximilian Valderheim. I am the proprietor of this small quest, and I do believe I might be the beginning of quite a wondrous tale looking at you all. So, shall we get down to it? I don't want to waste any of your time, as I'm sure it's precious and you have things to go murder and maim and loot, I'd imagine."
He knows as well.
As he reaches the bottom of the stairs, not 1 second has he moved to the side, and you see a short, even shorter than you, Tilly, figure holding a silver platter come down, and has long pointed ears and surprisingly bright blue hair, which is combed over to the side with big eyebrows. And this figure is, "Oh yes, my name is Maximus Tristan, and you will address me as Maximus, and I would be your waiter for this evening." And just folds out the tablecloth from the large table in the center of the room, puts down glasses, looks at you, Gunnhild, puts the glass back on, puts a larger glass down.
Good man.
Puts the bottle down. Quill, paper, a small bag of sand. Just goes, "If you require anything, please request me." Steps to the side, just holding the platter this entire time. His face is in a constant sort of smirk, like upside down smirk. It's almost a gurn. It's that pompous.
Mm.
And Maximilian slides out a chair, sits down. "Yes, so anyway, let us get down to business.
Let's.
Maximus, write this down." Maximus puts the tray down, comes over, realizes he is far too short for the table, pulls the chair over, stands on top of the chair, and is like, "Ready, master?" Maximilian goes, "Right, so as I'm sure you're aware, I have called you here with a task of great importance, of which I am offering the sum of 115 gold for. Now, that is equivalent to exactly 7 farmers' yearly salaries each to each of you. I made sure to count that out exactly. Now, as for the task at hand, my family has an illustrious lineage, especially when it comes to this area. Halfgate used to have a sister town within the swamp. It was meant to provide a byway throughout the region to get to the other side of the swamp. However, there was some unfortunate problems in the construction, and that town sank mostly below the swamp. My great-great-great-great-grandfather was the Lord Provost of that town, and as such, he commanded quite a lot of respect in the area and ensured our lineage to this day. However, in the rush to leave the sinking abodes, left behind something quite nice, which up until this point had been thought lost. However, I got a tip off to say that perhaps it might still be there. And me, being a great purveyor of all the things to do with my wondrous family, thought that perhaps I should enlist the help of some strong-minded individuals to go retrieve it for me, because while I may be a great purveyor of all sorts of things collectible, I am not exactly a great purveyor of mud and swamp and getting stabbed by all manner of strange creatures from beyond the depths of my deepest nightmares. However, you are. In fact, I'd wager some of you probably enjoy it. So, my request of you all, if you would choose to accept it, and I have a funny feeling that you will choose to accept it, is to venture into the swamp to the old town of Shalmos and acquire this item.
I'm in.
Yeah, come in. I'm up for the
Yeah.
scrap.
Sounds simple enough.
I'd like to know more about whatever this item actually
Yeah,
is.
that was my
but
next question.
For now, I am coloured intrigued.
Well, it is a sword. Forged in silver, it is a saber. It bears the personal crest of my great-great-great-great-grandfather, and should still be in its scabbard, though I'd imagine the scabbard may have rotted at this point. It is only leather, but the weapon itself has a very minor enchantment in it that stops it going dull, so it will still be shiny. Should be easy to see within this filth of the swamp.
What's the crest?
Well, it represents our faith to the crown of Calrim and all of its predecessors, and so it is 2 rose sort of stalks wrapping around a crown.
Very
Yes.
fancy.
It looks sort of like a pretzel. It's just a personal crest of my great-great-great-great-grandfather, so it seems like he didn't have the most taste.
From what I've been hearing, those swamps are a lot more dangerous than they used to be.
Oh, yes, I do hear that, yes. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I'm sure it's nothing that you can't handle, you know. Maybe you'll do some good for the town while you're there. Make a bit more money, you know. They do tell me that your sorts are always seeking more of it.
Oh, you know, it don't come cheap, these skills.
Apparently not. So, is there anything else you'd like to know?
Anything else we should know about? You ain't got some long family curse, or there ain't like a big monster that lives in the swamps that everyone knows about except us. There isn't, no.
Not to my knowledge, but then again, I haven't asked. As for curses on my family, that's preposterous. My family is long and illustrious. It would have nothing to do with dark dealings like that.
Insight, that shit.
Yeah.
-15.
-1. He's
Wow.
extra telling the truth.
So, you completely believe him, Gunnhild. As for you, Namari, he is either telling the truth or he thinks it's the truth. He's so caught up in his own family history, he can't believe they would do anything wrong.
Tilly asks how soon is he expecting the sword back?
Oh, well, as expedited as you can. But of course I understand the dangers of this, so I'm here for as long as I need to be.
I'm intrigued as to how you discovered that this once thought lost family heirloom that you haven't actually found still exists. Because
Well,
typically when you find a lost heirloom, you actually find the lost heirloom.
that is an absolutely wondrous story. You see, last summer, about a year ago now, I was perusing through the old family library. Wondrous place, thousands upon thousands of books, where I came upon a series of old dusty tomes that happened to be the diaries of my great-great-great-grandfather. And reading through them, he mentioned the diaries of his great-great-great-grandfather. And so I went to that one and found out that it was indeed my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. And as such, I read through that and found through that he'd actually managed to recover some of the items. However, he was very saddened to hear that his long prized saber had been lost. And I spent a lot of time talking to local jurisdictions and local government and such, and to get to the higher form of government, which would allow me to get into the capital and talk to the scrivener there, which will allow me to find the exact town that he had been provost of, because we are so illustrious, we have so many different places, and it was to be the town of Shalmos, and from there we found that was indeed this town in the swamp, and so I, at the earliest opportunity I could, came here, and now you're here, and now the sword is going to be mine.
Riveting.
I see. And I'm assuming that your illustrious, was it 3-time great or 4-time great?
4-time great grandfather.
Sorry. Your 4 times great grandfather, in his diary, do you have any other stories or tales or any descriptions of the area? Just if you actually have a copy of the information that we could then use to locate said object. Because, I mean, we want to get the sword back to you as quick as possible so that you don't have to stay here any longer than you are required.
Well, I would not allow you to privy to the personal diaries of my family. That is quite a private matter. However, I can tell you what little my grandfather talked about in regards to the swamp itself. Most of the stuff in his diaries were to do with the running of the town and the people within it and the local government structures and such. But he spoke of the swamp in a very different way to what I see it now. He describes beautiful mangroves and steady streams from which one could row a small boat through and see interesting array of animals, things like he mentioned crocodiles and brightly colored birds and things like that. He mentioned the sun dappling through the trees and making it a lovely time. He met his wife in the town, actually.
Interesting.
Because it looks like for a second that Tristan's going to be like, oh, you met his wife, and go further into the story. I just kick him really hard under the table.
You feel the edge of Gunnhild's foot because she's...
But I'm wearing like massive dwarf shit kicker boots that are enforced with like steel.
You feel the edge of it and you can feel the speed behind it. If she'd been an inch closer, that would have really hurt your kneecap.
Fair enough. Thank you for letting us know. Perhaps you could have Maximus, just paraphrase it and write it down so we have that information for when we actually do venture forth.
Maximus has been writing down this entire conversation word for word. In fact, every person in it has a different calligraphy style for their conversation. Whenever Gunnhild speaks, you see it's very straight.
Hey, man.
Oh, what did I miss? Sorry, I zoned out there for a second.
Some sword or some shit. There we go, that go find. It's in a long lost town. This guy's really fancy and he has lots of relatives.
So, cool.
Very illustrious.
Quite,
Very
yes,
illustrious.
very illustrious.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm glad you understand the severity of what I'm asking you here. It's a very important task. You should be incredibly grateful to have me be your first benefactor.
Tilly rolls her eyes fucking hard.
Gunn starts twitching a little bit. Just downs her wine and then pours another and downs it.
I can now see why your reputation precedes you.
Of course, yes. I'm glad that my reputation precedes me. I personally didn't think I had much of a reputation myself. That would be my sister, but she has a reputation.
You have a sister. Oh, okay.
Now Namari kicks him under the table.
So, is there anything else you would like to ask? Otherwise, I have a very good book to get back to.
Oh, no, we won't want to keep you.
I have
I have no problem with you keeping me. Quite an interesting group. Maximus, please write down their exact physical descriptions.
Personal.
Maximus starts.
I'm leering at him while he does that.
Look at that fucking face! Look at that face he's pulling!
I wonder who that was to.
It's obviously you, Tristan.
Oh yeah, must be.
Clearly. It's the hat.
Jealous
Because
of
I'm
that hat.
also wearing. It's because I'm also wearing. I've taken the hat off. I'm inside. It's because I'm also wearing purple and have a tash and goatee.
Oh, do you have a cravat too?
No, mine's not a twiddly tash. It's just. It's respectful but not garish.
See, his Maximilian's mustache is a pencil mustache that has the twist at the end.
Oh.
Wow. Is it also wait, Maximilian or Maximus?
Maximilians.
Ah, I'm gonna say. Wow.
Gross.
Yes. Maximilian and Maximus, yes.
So I was thinking if Maximus has one as well, is his the same colour as his hair?
It is.
But yeah, I have no more questions.
Well, in that case, then I would bid you a very good night. Rest up, you'll need it for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I look forward to seeing from you soon.
I'm sure you will.
And hopefully we
seeing,
can get you. And
not
hopefully we
hearing.
can get you out of this place as soon as possible.
That would have to be rather nice.
I might just.
And Maximilian gets up, puts his chair in, and heads upstairs. And Maximus follows behind him, turns to the edge of the stairs, turns around, silver plate. Well, good night to you all. And follows up the stairs.
Night.
Wow.
It's not people I deal with usually, and now I know why. I mean, it was nice enough, but
So I think we can
Nice
agree.
in his mind.
The sooner we get that sword back, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the better for this town.
It's like he was
Getting
nice
going.
enough, but he was just a bit much, you know? It's
Just because the words he was saying may have been nice, I feel like it's the way he was saying.
just a lot for a person. He's just a lot.
I hope I wasn't coming across as passive aggressive.
You?
Yeah.
No.
Good.
No, I think you were just egging him on.
Well, I wanted to know more about the guy. If we're working for him, I'd like to
you
know.
just
He
wanted
said
to
that
know
it's
more
a
about
good
his
guest, right?
sister.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he said that apparently she was, more illustrious than he was. So it might have been a sore spot. So if we need to, press any buttons, she might be a button to press later.
Mm.
I'm sure
Which
you'd
is
like
what I was trying to do. Thank you very much. Get your mind out of the
Lydia
gutter.
and Maggie all brain went to the exact same place then. Mm.
Just because I'm a bard doesn't mean I only think of things I know.
No, it's because of the hat.
Yeah. It's the hat,
No.
it's the facial hair, it's just everything.
Mm.
Anyway, what's a girl gotta do to get a pint round here?
At this point, you hear Jeffrey go, "Oh, well, you could just ask us. What would you like? We have a pale ale, a stout, a cider, and a... Is that a hop beer, dear? Yes, a hop beer.
I'll take the stout.
Cider for me.
Pause
I'll
out.
have the hoppy one.
I'd like a room to go wash out these wounds in, preferably.
Okay, Tilly's still injured. We're the worst, I'm so sorry.
You're in like half health, right?
Yeah.
I'm just picturing it like we're all sat at the table and just every couple of seconds, just like a.
She's just got down. Like,
She's just gone grey from blood loss, and we're just all like, beer, yes, good times.
That's probably why she was quiet.
and Jeffrey's like, "Oh, yes, we'll get you a room right now. I'm sure the rest of your people can sort out payment for it. Anyway, if you go upstairs and you go to the end of the hallway, the room on the right, it's the bathing room."
Okay, well, she will slink off and do that.
did we start with any gold? Because
Yes, 15 gold.
15.
And as Tilly makes her way upstairs and Jeffrey brings over the drinks, you hear a thunk. And as you look over to where the sound comes from, you see that the figure at the back has woken up and stuck in a long sword through the table.
That's a bit. That's uncalled for.
And as she turns to you now, you can see that her half of her face is shadowed, but she has a long pipe coming out, and the end of it flares. She looks at you and goes, "So you're heading into the swamp?"
Apparently.
And Jeffrey has gone over now and is trying to pull this long sword out of the table, and he's like, "Oh." Hmm.
I will go over and I pull it out. I say, "Oh, you dropped this."
She picks it up. Thank you. Leans against the table. Yeah, I would be careful going into that swamp.
Because of the hyenas.
Yeah. A hyena is nothing. It's a small creature. There is something dark in that swamp. I told them a year ago. But this would be the problem. This was the cause. They didn't listen to me. It's been there for a long time. And she lifts out a leg, and you see now that this leg is, the bottom half of it is wooden. It took my leg. I sliced.
What is it, if I may ask?
Frightening creature of gnashing teeth and horrid stench.
How much teeth? How many? What's the mouth situation like?
I did not know. I was too busy focusing on running away with one leg.
Pull out the necklace. Anything like this?
No,
It's worth a shot. I don't fucking know.
it was large, bigger than any of you. Far
I didn't
bigger.
expect it to be to scale, but
Did not see much of it. It was dark, shadowed. I had simply gone out looking for truffles in the swamp. I have quite a fine taste, you know.
How long ago was this? A year?
I lost my leg a year ago, yes.
And
Go into
nobody.
swamp. Be careful.
How deep into the swamp did this happen?
I do not know. It was at least half a day travel into the swamp. Past the old town.
Past the old town.
Yes. The swamp used to be a nice place to go until this thing came. And now it is fetid and dark. Blows out a long plume of smoke.
And nobody thought to take care of it, to...
What do you think we are? We cannot take care of this.
Well, if it's affecting the whole area.
This is a creature that can take a leg off in one missed bite. You think townsfolk, farmers, have chance against that? They didn't listen to me. They thought I was hallucinating. Lost my leg to a crocodile. Swamp gas made my mind addled, but I know what I saw. I know what I saw, and to this day I say that people of this town are their own ruination.
Can I insight check her?
Sure.
Insight. 23.
Yeah, she's telling the truth. She's a little blunt about it, but she's telling the truth.
You say the people of this town are their own ruin. Did they cause this thing to appear, or is it just because they're not doing anything about it?
They do nothing about it. I do not know how it appears. It is a creature. Strange monster from the darkness. I am not monster hunter. I'm truffle farmer.
While they're talking, I go over to get the drinks. And who is there? Which one of the two?
Jeffrey's there right now.
Jeffrey.
The smaller man.
And I lean over and just on the bar and... That's an intense lady over there.
Oh, yes. Femma is quite intense, yes. Ever since she lost her leg, she's been like that. Not to say that she wasn't intense beforehand, but it's sort of gone a little crazier since then. She keeps talking about this beast in the woods. Glowing eyes, orange fur, stench that could kill a man. I don't
You don't-
really No, of course I don't believe her. She seems to have gone mad.
So
I mean,
no,
sane people don't put a sword through my table, you know?
that was a bit much. Yes, yes.
7th time she's done it this month.
Mm. It wouldn't have
Gotten-
lasted long in the city.
Gotten very good at placing different planks in the table. You know, replacing it.
I didn't notice. Yeah, so good job. There's no. I mean, if it were true, right? There wouldn't there be other people who saw that monster?
No one really goes that far into the swamp. I'm afraid. Sorry, I don't know that much.
Mm.
Maybe talk to the provost about it.
Provost, yeah.
Yeah, the Sunkeeper might know something as well. He gets a lot of people going to him for sort of confessions. I don't know if Vem is that sort of person, but you know, maybe I don't know. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just.
You might want to talk to Joyce as well. She tends to know a bit more about these things than I am.
Mhm.
Not very sociable, which is funny considering I help run a tavern, but that's a long story. You
Takes
know.
all sorts.
Yes, it really does. Yes.
About the room situation.
Oh, yes. Well, are all of you staying this?
I would think so. Yeah.
How long do you think you'll be staying for?
Well, we should probably leave tomorrow. Or leave early as early as possible
Oh, you just wanting to stay for the
Dinner.
night?
for a night or two. Then we'll be out in the swamp.
Well, I suppose for one night for the 5 of you with 2 gold. Would that suffice?
Mm. They said city pubs were expensive.
Sorry, it's just there are 5 of you, and that's a lot to hold up.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
We're only a small
I'm paying
establishment.
him the 5 gold. 2 gold.
Not 5 gold, 2 gold.
I know. I'm the 2 gold. I give it to him.
Thank you. Puts it in a small coin purse to his side. The rooms to the other side of the bathhouse. The bathroom will be yours.
Thank you.
Yes. Tell your halfling friend that as well. Once
Yeah.
she's cleaned up. Is she going to be okay?
Oh, she's seen worse, probably.
I haven't. That looked horrible.
Yeah.
Reminds me of when I cut the tip of my finger off once while chopping onions. It was dreadful. There's blood everywhere.
It was a very similar situation. With more
Right.
teeth. But very similar apart from that. Thanks. And I take the drinks and
So,
return.
no problem. Yes. I was just about to bring them over. It's just they're very heavy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm used to back and forth,
Thank you. How enjoy your drinks.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
want any food, there's some cooking right now. It's sausages and potatoes.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Was there any paper left? Paper and ink? Did that get left at the table when?
No,
you went
Maximus left the transcript of the conversation there, and took the rest with him.
Ah.
But it's only written on one side of the paper, so.
Yeah, I just want. I've been talking to the crazy intense lady. I don't want to be too blunt, but I want to know as much as you can describe about the creature in very basic terms, because I believe you. Was it something that came from the air? Was it something that came underground?
It's nice to see someone with sense in this town. It did not come from the air, it came from the ground. Thick orange fur and eyes that burnt like coals of abyss. Gnashing teeth and a howl that splits bone. A tree next to me vanished. A horrible sound. I did not see what caused it. I was beginning to black out from the pain by that point. But I kept dragging and pulling myself away, walking on my stump, splished in the water. I lost a lot of blood that day. It took me a month to recover from it. I made myself a new leg. Whittled it out of a tree myself. You okay, this is...
That's...
It's impressive.
Oof.
You see now this leg is
Oh.
terribly made.
If it functions, I
difficult.
suppose.
Oh, so that's what you're laughing at? Because for me, it was a case of like actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf, like
Well, that
try to escape with your stump leg.
I ran on my stump splishing in the water. Just... Anyway, sorry.
Making fun of accent.
No. Why would I do that, comrade?
Like,
So yeah, I'll ask you like more basic questions, like 2 legs or 4 legs, wings or not,
No wings, 4 legs.
fast or
Fast enough to take my leg, and I considered myself pretty fast.
again. I'm
Once-
keeping a mental note of like the description.
Once I got close to it, though, I could not stand anything. I felt ill, nauseous. I began to feel like I was about to pass out already, just from stench.
Okay.
You're actually going to go kill beast.
oh, we have to go into the swamp.
You've piqued my interest for the hunt. I'll tell you that much.
Good. Perhaps something can be done about this town. Is anything else you want to know?
No, that's about as much as I can think of.
Good.
Thank you.
As you say thank you, she's fallen back asleep already, pipe in her mouth.
So does she pay for a room here, or just...
Who's gonna
Sounds
tell her no?
Sounds like she just sleeps there.
Adds a little bit of mystery to the place, really.
No, yeah, really. I mean, what's a tavern without a shadowy individual?
You
It
need a
really
character
ties-
like that.
Really ties the room together.
It looks like she has picked that part of the tavern purely because it makes her look shady.
I would say she's part of the woodwork, but
Mm,
not to her face.
You should
not
say
why
she's
there's a
part of
long
the
sword
woodwork.
around.
Yeah.
So, it is night now. The sun has completely fallen. What would you like to do, or would you just like to retire for the evening? Let your wounds heal.
Just, you know, I noticed that Tilly's not there after a while and be like, did she die on the way to the bathroom or something?
I hope not.
I hope I didn't.
Roll for finding the bathroom.
You didn't.
Thank God.
Roll for death.
Well, there is food, and we've got a room for, I think, 1 night or 2 nights. What did I say?
2 nights.
2 nights.
Is that a room
Um,
each, or do we have a bunk?
Bunk.
A room each.
Eh, really?
Ah,
I thought it was a bunk thing. That's why.
Lack of luxury.
Yeah. If we're not doing anything particular, I'd probably whip out the violin and just chill for the night before going to bed.
Okay. As you
What's
whip it up, Joyce is like, "Oh, a performer.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead then." It doesn't mean you get your room for free though.
I wasn't going to ask. Maybe a drink
No.
in payment for the. Well, I suppose I'll still play anyway. It's passion. Pays for itself. Just trying to convince myself that it's worth it.
If we hired you, we'd pay you. You can't just turn up and start playing and then demand money.
That's not what I was doing. You started talking to me after I started playing.
I know your type.
I can guarantee you don't.
Here's hoping that's not the case because, whew, that hat.
I'm not wearing it inside.
No, she's pointing at it on the table.
Oh. Point taken. And then I just continue playing.
So as Tristan plucks out a steady song. You relax into your dinner of sausages and potatoes with not another green vegetable in sight.
Yeah.
The way it should be.
And no gravy either.
Oh.
Ow.
The way it shouldn't be.
You can use beans, it's fine.
There's no beans. It's literally just a plate of sausages and boiled potatoes.
Oh,
That's
boils.
I'm fine. Oh,
Yeah.
not mash? Oh.
No, chopped up, into like quarters and then boiled.
This
I mean, on
place
the
is
upside,
the worst.
This is the
It's got
saddest.
skin.
Gruel.
Skins on as well.
I'd like to think that they're feeding this to Maximilian as well, but he's probably got his own supply.
These people are monsters.
Well, his little waiter probably cooks for him.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
You don't know.
Gets a little pinion and everything.
Yeah, Tilly probably comes back down at some point with like some bandages on, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Probably taking her armor off. Don't really
Yeah.
need it right now.
Nope.
What
So
are you having to drink then?
Nothing. She very meekly waves off having a drink.
I'll get her water.
Yeah, just join me because I'm drinking from a water skin.
Your own private supply of water.
Meanwhile, there's 10 mugs in front of Gun.
So, as you drink and eat the night away, you find yourselves eventually to bed, and sleep takes you quickly. It's been a long day. You've been traveling. And as you wake in the morning, you're greeted by a much more pleasant-smelling breakfast than before. It smells like sausages again, but it smells like fried sausages this morning, as opposed to boiled sausages.
There were boiled
That's-
sausages as well.
Ah, jeez.
Yes, they were. The entire dinner last night was boiled.
That's not great.
As a cook, it actually hurts my soul to have eaten that. I have proficiency with cook's utensils. I should have put them to use.
It looks like Joyce is cooking this morning, not Jeffrey.
I'm gonna note that one down.
That just
So-
makes all the sense in the world.
As you have your breakfast, what would you like to do for the day?
Well, Jeffrey said to maybe talk to the Sunkeeper and the Lord Provost about the creature and
Just
the...
said Provost.
Sorry.
The Lord
If-
Provost was of Shalmos.
To the Provost about this. It's worth a shot.
I mean,
Yeah.
the kid at the gate told me to talk to the Sunkeeper about people dying anyway, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it just makes sense to get as much information as possible before we actually, bugger off and potentially die. So,
Essentially what?
die.
Die.
I don't plan on dying, I mean.
Oh, me neither.
neither.
I'm just saying, the figures speak for themselves. 27 in 2 weeks. It's a bit of a worrying figure.
Is there
Wow.
any place in a town like this that I would be able to find books, a rudimentary library, anything? I'm looking for a way to research potential creatures because the hunt's on.
You ask Jeffrey and Joyce, and they say that there is a small library here. It's only modest, but they say there is a library here, yes.
I definitely tease Jeffrey about his big wife before we go anywhere.
What exactly do you say?
I don't know. Definitely say
You've got a
something.
big wife, you dick.
The bad tits behind taking notes.
Oh, no, she's not my wife.
I didn't care past the initial teasing.
Oh, right. Enjoy your day.
Now, who is she then?
I'm
Sorry,
sure
I'm
you
like,
will.
what? She's not your wife, then.
Oh, she's just my partner. That's all.
Inside check.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that sounded sad.
I did sound
I think Tilly
sad.
waves it off, just close enough.
15.
Natural 20, but I have a -2. So
That's fine. It's natural time. Yeah, it's his wife. It's not his wife. Sorry, it's his partner.
does he want to?
But is he sad about that? Is he pining?
He's sad. He's just being insulted.
Ah, yeah. To be fair.
When you put it in those terms.
Yeah.
How long have you two been together then?
I did say tease, not insult.
It's not for you to decide.
Jeffrey doesn't seem like the sort of person that would know the difference. It's been 3 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Any plans on the horizon, eh? You seem a good couple.
I don't know. I don't know, really. I hadn't really thought about it. Sort of quite fine being steady away, you know. So, yeah, no real rush.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
suddenly got really awkward. I'm just gonna.
Okay. Yeah. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. Please don't die.
No, you two. You don't die either, because that would be shit. So.
I'll try not to cut my finger.
Alright. See ya. Bye.
Swans are outside the door. I'm like, what the fuck was he talking about? Cutting his finger?
Oh,
That's so odd.
Yeah, no, I don't know what you're talking about. It was weird, yeah.
It's a very specific thing, and he said,
Yeah, that's what got
oddly
me.
specific.
Beats me.
so I imagine we have a few stops before we just walk up into this slump.
Yeah. A couple of people to talk to, and then potentially, I don't know, gather whatever supplies we might think we might need. I mean, we're going to a town, but a town overrun by a swamp, so I don't really know what's...
So, where are you heading first then?
Well, we had 2 for the priest and 1 for whoever else was mentioned.
The provost.
Yeah. Well, we had 2 for the priest, so I feel like priest.
Okay. So, as one of you leans back inside and asks Jeffrey where the priest is, where the sunkeeper is, he points you. He tells you about the sunkeeper's house, which lies on the northern corner of the town. As you make your way there, it's a small abode. It has a flower garden out the front and window boxes on all the windows, which are also full of flowers, blooming in the midsummer's season. And there's a short path up to the doorway, and it's a very nice looking place. It's small, but it's nice looking.
I guess we. Would we knock or would we just go in? Is this like a public building?
It's his house.
Okay, so yeah, we'd knock.
Yeah.
Is anyone here, Sunkeeper, Pelor, do you have any affiliation to? Are we all bleeding heathens here? Is that what's happening?
Well, I have a sunny
Cool.
disposition, if that counts.
No, it doesn't. And I knock on the door.
I think it counts.
A very long moment passes before the door opens, and you see there a very old figure, but he's standing with practiced poison grace. He's got a long white robe on with a tabard over the top with the symbol of Pelor in the center, the 6-pronged sun, and then with the gold trimmed down the side, and then the red beyond that. And as he opens the door, you think, can I help you?
Well, perhaps we have just arrived in town, obviously, because you don't know us and you probably know many people here. We wanted to introduce ourselves and maybe gather a bit of information, and we were pointed into your direction.
What exactly are you wanting information about?
Well, we met a rather interesting character in the Golden Fox yesterday.
You mean Fema?
Yeah.
Yes.
He had a worrisome tale to tell.
Oh, she's been spinning that tale for close to a year now.
Considering
come inside. I have tea on. As he leads you inside to a small sitting area, there's a loads of the round table. It's rather, Spartan. There's some stools around it. He just gestures for you to sit down. And over in the corner, there's a small stove on top of which currently is boiling a large teapot, like a tea kettle. And as he's pouring the tea out, he's like, "So, why exactly do you ask about that?"
We are tasked to go into the swamp, and we have heard about several issues with people disappearing and reappearing worse for wear. If we are to venture beyond the city gate,
yes,
it would help to know as much as possible.
That is quite the situation we have, yes. I don't know much about it, but I have a very... You see his eyes are beginning to well up already. A personal experience with it all. 2 days ago, my acolyte, like a son to me, lost his family, killed a brand, vanished into the swamp. Said that he wanted to help. I couldn't stop him from going. You know how headstrong people are in their youth, especially those with faith. But he's gone. He hasn't been back since. I fear the worst.
2 days, you said. Do you know any direction you might have ventured in?
Well, the swamp only extends out from the western side of the town, so beyond that, I don't know. I don't know. I just hope he's okay.
We will, of course, keep an eye out. It's the least we can do.
Sorry, I got a bit of a cold. Please, I've prayed for him every day since, but it seems maybe now my prayers have been answered. You certainly look a lot more capable than the others in this town, aside from maybe Ellen. Don't get on her side. She may be young, but she's certainly fireful. Her father taught her well.
She's a tough kid.
But yes, be safe going into that forest, into that swamp. I'll tell you anything you know, or you need to know that I can tell you, but I don't know much. I just really hope I don't have to put on another funeral.
There've been a lot of people missing. Is there any particular time it seems worse than during others?
Not really, no. Many of the workers go out in the mornings into the swamp. They go there to collect the gases and the oils and the dirt and bring it back. And sometimes entire groups of them vanish. It's never a single person. It's always a group.
I mean, we have come across creatures, hyenas, and something I've never seen before.
I'm afraid I don't know of what you speak. I have seen a hyena before, yes, but not. Anyway, I don't know of anything else beyond that. A hyena is just a simple beast. It's not capable of, breaking the bones and scattering in the marrow of a fully grown adult.
Well, these looked like hyenas, only they kind of walked around on their back feet, and they were about 5 feet tall.
And they could use weapons.
That is
What
beyond
bit
me.
me?
I show him the necklace.
They were carrying
This is what they
chunks
were
of
carrying.
I faintly know of that. Only enough to know that it is evil.
Mm.
But beyond that, I do not know.
Well, whatever they are, I'm pretty sure they're to blame for the troubles your town is having.
Perhaps.
Or at least partly for it.
But I have a feeling well, I have a feeling that maybe there's a couple more than the ones you fought.
Mm. It's always more.
It would be our luck.
Mm.
Have you have you heard or had the fortune to meet the gentleman residing in the Golden Fox just now, Maximilian?
I'm afraid I don't know who you speak. I've seen the carriage out front, but that's all.
Oh.
He does not seem like a godly man.
He was peculiar. Mentions a sword that was lost to his family in that very swamp. Does that ring a bell?
No, I know Shalmos was lost, but that was lost to natural reasons. The foundations of the town were unfortunately built on wet ground, and after a time, it just gave away, and most of the town sunk. Yes, Halfgate, part of Halfgate, had a similar fate. Hence the name Halfgate.
Oh.
You seem to know quite a lot about the local history. Do you know anything of a family name by the name Valderheim?
No, I'm afraid not. No. It sounds like a noble's name. Perhaps you best ask the provost about that. He's a noble himself. So, but not. He's a gentle soul, very kind. Helps the town out a lot.
I wouldn't. I mean, we just arrived here. Is there any place you would recommend to stock up, so to say, before going into the swamp? Any items that could be beneficial to us if we spend many days out there?
It depends what you want. We do have a provisioner in the town.
And in terms of magical means, protection.
That's far beyond us, and far beyond most in this world, I'd assume.
Worth a shot.
My apologies, but you probably won't find anything here. I mean, myself and Gildebrand, we've been gifted the ability to cast a small modicum of healing magic. Bella protects his servants, of course, but beyond that, nothing much. Nothing distilled, which is what I assume you're talking about. I do perhaps if you do want to see, perhaps we may have something, maybe check in Holden. He does own the provisioners here. Look for the gaudy sign, Holden's Armaments, Armor and Goods.
We will. Thank you.
I don't suppose there's anyone in town who can tell us more, like, geographically about this swamp? If we're plotting a route to this town, we would probably benefit from knowing where we're going.
I don't know if anyone in the town has visited Shalmos recently. We tend to keep to about half a mile into the swamp. Everything we need is in there. The swamp shifts and moves. The water coming down from the mountains means that stuff gets moved around a lot, groundwork wise. So there's always new stuff for us to take. But I don't know. You could perhaps talk to one of the teams. By the other end of the town, that's where they are. By the palisade. They might be able to help. So perhaps the provost as well. Like I said, he does know a little more about the history of the area. I'm sorry I can't be more help, but I do not know much of the swamp. I have never journeyed into it myself. White robes, they don't do very well in luck.
What was the acolyte's name again?
Gildebrand.
Gildebrand.
Yes.
I'm sure he's fine.
I hope to tell all that he is. He's a wonderful soul.
I have a question that may be more on the upsetting side, and I don't want to put you in a position that would make you uncomfortable, but you said you hold funerals for the people that have fallen victim to the swamp. Do you hold ceremonial funerals, or are bodies recovered?
If a body can be recovered, we do recover it. But in regards to the recent attacks, well, usually there's not much to recover. It's the sort of thing you do in a bag, not a coffin.
And from the time that a person would disappear to the time that you would find their body or remains, what sort of time seems to be the interval?
I don't know the exacts, but a day, maybe not even that.
Okay.
And when they happen in great amounts.
To the bodies?
It's not a couple of people, it's entire teams.
And do they appear to be attacked where they work and you find their remains where they work, or are they attacked, disappear, and then their bones reappear elsewhere?
At the beginning of the attacks, I asked this question. I'm sort of used to the responses at this point, so I don't bother asking, but they're found around where they were supposed to be working for that day. I say around because they're not all found in the same place. And they're not quite sure that we're burying all of the same body when we're burying it. We generally know because the skulls all seem to be intact. That's how we get the count of how many people died.
So, is this all like groups going out at the same time and coming back, or are, like, these stockpiled bodies, are they all in like different stages of decay, or what?
There's not much left on the bodies to decay. It's bone. And when I say bone, I mean shards.
But is this the behavior of a creature like flushing out its lair of? Sounds very macabre and mercenary, but is it a beast just clearing out the trash, or is it just leaving them where it's killed them?
Well, Shalmos has stood for many a year. Sorry, not Shalmos. Halfgate has stood for many a year, and it's only recently that this has begun happening. So, we haven't changed where we garner our supplies from, so unless something has moved in to those areas, there's no particular beast there, and I've seen my fair share of animal bites in my time. These aren't animal bites. This is far more than that. It takes a great force to break a bone and extract the marrow, and it's the skulls that scare me. They're all left intact, completely.
Any scraping on them or anything? You know, where a tooth or tools might have scraped against the skull?
I haven't really checked, to be honest.
Okay, next question. Again, sorry if it sounds a bit brutal. Have you got one that I can look at?
You'd have to ask the family. I'm not at liberty to do that. That feels unkind of me to show you the bodies of someone's relative without their permission.
Fair enough.
As far as it goes, we generally try to bury them fairly quickly. But there is obviously some time that the families need before we conduct the funeral. And so I do have an unfortunate soul who needs to be buried right now. The Arkand family, they lost their eldest son 2 months ago, and now they've lost their youngest.
Well, I'm not really sure what looking at a body would tell us, Gun.
Well, if we can look at the skeleton, if there's any sort of marks on it, like would you be able to tell if it was made by a blade or teeth or something? So we've got an idea of what we're up against, potentially. So
Sounds like we're mostly up against teeth.
You know, if you're like carving the meat off something, sometimes you nick the bone with your knife and it leaves a mark. That's the kind of thing I'd be looking for.
Just be wary of the macabre scene. It's not something I ever wish to see in my life. That's not the 200 plus times I've seen it in the past few months. You become a bit numb to it all.
We should. I mean, I don't know much about anatomy, medicine. I don't know if I could tell the difference between a claw mark and a sword mark.
I mean, if I don't want to go bothering some grieving family, it was just on the off chance, you know.
I could go look myself and tell you if I see any marks.
That'll work.
Right, please bear with me. I will return to partake of as much tea as you wish until I get back. You see, he makes his way out of the house. A short time passes.
As
By
it
the
goes,
time
I'm
he
like, God, I feel like an asshole now.
Yeah, in between, I just want to say, okay, I liked where your head was at, though, Gun. That was pretty much everything I was looking to find. I think, just based on what we've been told, we're looking at some sort of hunting creature, but something that is too big to be bothered by a solitary figure. We might just find that acolyte if he went out alone. He might be wandering lost, confused by swamp gases. But as a group, we become endangered when we go out there.
That was my theory, because he mentioned that it's usually groups, right, that go out and get wrecked.
So, something that's not going to bother with a morsel of one meal.
And from what I understand about animals, that's quite unusual behaviour. Would an animal not typically go for the weakest member or a single, prey?
It would depend. While hunting, I would, but you have to consider the amount of energy you would expend hunting versus what you would get in return. And if you can easily take out 5 instead of having to just chase down potentially one that could slip away, you'd be better going for the 5. But the thing that gets me is the crushed bones. I don't understand that at all.
I think I do. Pretty nearly got that myself.
You think it's just the method of attack?
I mean, a big enough set of jaws will go straight through anything.
That's a fair point.
So, as you wait for the Sunkeeper to return, it's quite a while. By the time he gets back, the remaining tea in the pot has stewed and gone cold. But he returns and he says, I'm afraid that the skull is not much use to you. There are no marks on it at all. It is as clean as anything. And I studied and basic anatomy in my youth, and there are no marks on that. There's no scuffs.
Well, thank you anyway.
It's okay.
Oh.
We should pay a visit to the provost.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. I know this must not have been an easy conversation.
It certainly was not, but if it helps to end this, I will take this conversation over the funerals.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
Well, yes, thank you for your time.
And the tea.
Person.
Carrick.
Carrick.
Yes. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah,
He's
you
sort
too.
of he's sort of leaving a pause as if to be like, "What's your name?"
Oh,
Tilly.
yeah.
Ah,
Namari.
wonderful to meet you all. Good.
I'm Tristan, and again, thank you for the tea. Sorry it's gone cold. And then I
It's
cast
alright.
Prestidigitation to warm it up again.
Actually putting your finger in.
I basically did like the wharf
I'm
thing.
going to say.
Good tea, nice house.
It's lovely inside. All of the walls are a pastel blue. You know, there's paintings of flowers. There's a flower pot in the center of the table. You can see there's like a couple of baskets, and then the baskets are like very large pieces of like fruit. You know, there's a carrot in it, but the carrot is the size of a watermelon sort of thing. It's, you know, really bountiful crops. Well, yes, I look forward to hopefully seeing you again soon with good news, perhaps.
That's the hope.
We'll see.
And off we go.
Mm-hmm.
So as you go to open the door, you open it as a man on the other side goes to knock. He's up to his mid-waist is covered in filth and muck. His face is pale white and his lips are quivering, and he's holding a bag in his hand.
Oh well, we're really good at our job.
And he goes, Sunkeeper, it's happened again. And the Sunkeeper just, his face just drops. Where? And he goes, about half an hour into the swamp. It's all Lucky and his crew. And he opens the bag, and you can just see inside this thing has just got shards of bone. It looks like a broken pane of glass painted white in a bag. There's no sense of what any of these bones are anymore. You don't know whether it's a femur or wherever it is, and on top of it there is a skull that is pristine clean. Not bleached, these aren't white, these still look like bone. But it's just shards. You know, some of them are no larger than your pinky finger.
Does it look like what we found in the bag of the hyena people, or is it very different?
No. It is like what you saw in the bags of the hyena people looked like gnawed upon bodies.
Yeah.
This is shattered bone, and the insides have been like cleaned of marrow. There is barely any bits of flesh attached to any of this. There's no clothing, there's no belongings, there's nothing like that. There are shards of bone.
Maybe it isn't just those things we saw on the road.
Maybe.
No.
I just want to look everybody over as we have to go. We have to go right now.
Yeah.
I have to catch fresh tracks.
No, I agree. We need to get on it quick.
Do you mind if we have a look at the site?
Well, yeah. It's fine, yeah. Just like, well, I don't really know how to get there. Just follow footprints, I guess. You have to do it quick though. The swamp washes them away pretty quickly. And take a spare pair of boots.
Okay. I want to go.
Okay.
Okay.
And you all
Well, all right then.
make your way towards the edge of town. You see this other edge of town, whereas most of the buildings on the side of the town you came into were stone with cobbles. On this side of the town, the houses are made of wood, and they're actually built up slightly from the ground. And you see the ground here is much more sodden. And instead of a stone wall, you can see where the stone wall has actually fallen down into the swamp and sunk. And instead there is a wooden palisade that's been constructed around the back half of the town. And there are thin log watchtowers instead of parapets that you can see they're perched on top of what appear to be the original parapets of the wall that have sunk so far down that they've sunk a good 12 feet into the muck. You can just see the tops of them with a faint, puddle of water above them. There's sort of murky brown water. And there are guards stood at the top there now, and you can see they just seem completely distraught by what's going on. Just this futile sense they're leaning on their halberds, and it's a sense of not again to them.
I definitely start getting a little bit nervous seeing things sunk that far into this swamp. I don't have a lot of distance to sink.
No, you do not.
I feel the shortness right now.
So, as you make your way out through the gate, it is immediately very wet out here. And, excuse me.
You're excused.
The cold dampness of it is the first thing that catches you. It clings unnaturally to your skin, even just walking a few steps out of town. And the air hangs with a malice that seems to pull the darkness of the encroaching swamp ahead of you closer, and it seems to be just merging around you as you stare into this muck. The waters here are not clear, they're not even seeming muddy, they are fetid and rancid and green, and they bubble and swirl between small islands of mud and filth. And in the corner of your eye you catch shadows that dance, but as you look over you see not but a gnarled tree or a patch of tall grass slowly drifting in the slight wind around you. And the swamp just goes on beyond. But in the ground around you, you can see a number of heavy boot prints leading forward. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Heading into the horrible swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Without boots.
Without boots.
Mm.
We had the
need those,
opportunity to buy
We
more.
had 2 opportunities and we just said, fuck the boots.
We need those snowshoes, but for swamp.
Yeah.
I need to be on someone's shoulders, ideally.
I believe they call that a boat.
We need one of those hover boats you get in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're invented for a while yet.
Shit.
Mm.
Like a
We
little
could
Neither is
invent
Florida.
them.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much to everyone who was watching for joining us for this, our first episode of Kureon. Now, if you want to catch up, if you sort of tuned in halfway through, or if you want to show this to anyone else, this will be up on YouTube very soon, and you can enjoy it there at your leisure. Please do. It would be a great, I personally would really enjoy it if you could share this around. If you enjoyed it, just say how much you enjoyed it, because this has been something that I'm really hopeful for and have enjoyed a lot, enjoyed making it so far, and I hope that it goes pretty far. So once again, thank you for watching, and yeah, thanks very much. We will see you the same time next week, 8 p.m. GMT, right here on this channel. If you're catching up on YouTube, thanks for watching as well. So, unless anyone else has anything to say, we will bid you all good night.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Thank you.